Today we will talk about AI. Some people are afraid of it, some people are excited about it, some people see it as an opportunity of job creation, some people see it as an opportunity of job loss. Today I will just cover what are the types of AI in a very broad spectrum and where are we heading. It's an exciting thing to do. Before that, let me tell you a story of my first experience with AI. When I was entering into middle school in 1996, I used to be a chess player. I used to play competitive chess. And back in our days, Gary Kasparov used to be the best grandmaster of our times. And then in 1996, there was a software, an AI called Deep Blue, which challenged Gary Kasparov to play a match. Now, as humans, we all backed Gary Kasparov. But the first game, it was a 6-series game. In the first game, Deep Blue defeated Gary Kasparov, and it was really depressing for me as a child. But then what was heartening to see is that Gary Kasparov recovered out of it and eventually defeated Deep Blue by a score of 4-2, so 4-2 margin. It was quite elating for me as a human being because at least there was one frontier where humans were better than machines. But that was not the end of the story. In 1997, Deep Blue had a rematch with Gary Kasparov. Deep Blue improved from 100 million positions per second, analyzing that, to 200 million moves per second it could analyze. In 1997, we were, as humans, very overconfident that we will defeat machines. But in 1997, Gary Kasparov had a very difficult time with Deep Blue. Eventually, Gary Kasparov was defeated in that 6-match series by Deep Blue by a margin of 3.5 to 2.5 points. And that set a frontier in my mind. I was of your age in school, in middle school. And it set a frontier that computers are really going to be powerful. And there is no real boundary which you can set around a computer. The types of machines which defeated Gary Kasparov are called reactive AI machines. They react to a situation, they don't have a memory as such. Basically, they look at a situation and they react to it. That's the first kind of AI which you will encounter. But there's another kind of AI which you can intuitively guess it has a limited memory, which means it has some memory. It is not just reacting, but it is a set of memory. And from that memory, it gives you reactions. Everything from Netflix to YouTube to ChatGPT, which basically goes all around the net to find out information for you, works on a memory. It's a limited memory. It's not unlimited memory. It's a limited memory. So every generative AI tool, Netflix, YouTube, Google Maps, all of them are essentially limited memory AIs. So you've got two, reactive, limited memory. And that's pretty much it. Beyond this, there is no artificial intelligence which has been designed yet. But the human mind knows no limits. So we want to go the next step. And the next step is quite interesting. It has not happened yet, but by the time you graduate, it may have happened. If you ask a machine, a computer, AI, what is your ultimate fantasy? What is your ambition? What do you want to become? It will say, I want to become the most powerful and the most energy efficient machine in the world. Right here, your brain. So the next step of AI, which we are working on, and it's not still at least 5-6 years ahead in time, if not more, is called the theory of mind. And as it intuitively you can guess, theory of mind means the machine wants to become like the brain. And why so? Because the brain is the most effective thinking machine, memory machine ever created. It evolved over billions of years, but that's what a machine and everybody wants to be. Any AI's ultimate dream is to be this. Your brain, weighing no more than 1200 grams, encapsulated in this skull, is able to store about 2.5 petabytes, 1,000 terabytes or 2.5 petabytes of data. Now, 2,500 terabytes of data, you remember that hard disk which you put in your computer. 2,500, 2,500 of such hard disks can be stored in your tiny brain, which essentially means if you put these hard disks one on top of each other, that would reach a height of about 60 meters, which is taller than the India Gate. that amount of hard disks in your brain, right? And that is not really the biggest power of the brain. The biggest power of the human brain and why AI wants to replicate it is not its memory, which is phenomenal, but it's something better than that, which is its processing power. Your brain is able to process much more, much faster, and much more effectively than any known computer. To the tune that, let's come to this slide, okay? It is able to process more than 1 exaflop instructions, at least actually. It's the conservative estimate is 1 exaflop. The more liberal estimate is about 10 exaflops, but let's stick to 1 exaflop. 1 exaflop instructions per second. You'll ask me what is exaflop. So exaflop is this number. It's 1 followed by 18 zeros. 1 billion instructions per second in your brain. Now, that makes no sense until I compare it. The most popular phone in your hand is probably an iPhone. An iPhone is able to do about 33 billion instructions per second. That's its maximum limit. And if you compare that, what it means is that your brain has the capacity to process as much as 30,000 iPhones put together. 30,000 iPhones. If you put them one on top of each other, you will reach a height nearly half of Mount Everest. That amount of processing power in your brain. And the beauty is the brain is able to store all of this India Gate level memory and Mount Everest level processing. It processes in no more than 15 watts. 15 watt is the LED bulb in your home. It is able to do that. And that is why AI's ultimate goal is to make a brain, something which replicates a brain. And this is what theory of mind is all about. Now, the theory of mind will also lead to the advent of something called AGI. And again, 5 to 10 years away, AGI, which is artificial general intelligence. Now, all of the artificial intelligence today does a specific task. Google Maps finds you ways, Netflix shows you movies. But a general intelligence is able to do everything, just like you are able to do. So I'm able to talk, stand, my heart is also beating, my blood is circulating, you are listening to me. All those things are happening simultaneously. It's a general intelligence which we possess. And no machine right now has general intelligence. But our ultimate goal is to create an artificial general intelligence. And before I tell you the last type, I want to tell you something which is truly amazing. I don't know whether it's in your brain, in your body, or wherever it is, but there's something which really sets you apart. And that has nothing to do with processing power or memory or emotions or understanding anything or even creativity. All that is in your brain. But there's something which is there in you which sets you really apart, and that is something called self-awareness. Not all animals are self-aware. So humans and some of the higher order animals tend to be more self-aware. We are not sure whether a dog is self-aware or not. There's something called a mirror test. Dogs tend to fail in it, but dogs do qualify for a smell test. So they are able to identify their own smell. So we're not sure whether dogs are self-aware, but anything lower in intelligence than that is usually not self-aware. Humans are extremely self-aware. Even a child is self-aware. That is something which machines do not possess at all. It's not even in the radar right now. But the fourth kind of artificial intelligence which we will create, I don't know whether it will happen in a decade, 2 decades, 50 years, we do not know. But that's definitely something in the framework, is called the self-aware AI. Self-awareness. Imagine a machine which identifies itself. It knows who it is, and it knows that I am me and you are not me. You are a human, you are a different machine. I like you, I don't like you. That machine can have all kinds of relations with humans and other machines. That machine becomes aware of its own existence. That machine defends its own survival. That machine will go a long way to use its own judgment and wisdom, perhaps for its own good, perhaps for a good which it thinks is good for the global order. So we are not really sure how will we build it, but the next stage of theory of mind, of building a mind in a machine, is to build a mind machine which is also aware of its existence. Now you may ask me, is that the end of the world? Probably not. Is that a different time? Definitely yes. Imagine a time where your best friend might be an artificial intelligence which has feelings, understanding, emotions, and is aware of its existence. That is a time which you, my friends, might just wake up to. Thank you. Take care.